Hey TKN Beauties, it's your girl D Kenyatta Nicole, and I am super excited about this live today. Today, we're going to be talking about the importance for a head spa in order to keep your hair growing. I got my good friend Rayshone Phillips, the owner of the Head Spa Studios in Ohio. Girl, I cannot remember the city. And so
That's okay. That's okay.
she's going to drop so many gems on what you need to do. What is a head spa? I don't know if y'all have seen all these different pictures around about head spas. Many gems on what a head spa is, and we're also going to be talking about essential oils. And the good thing about it is this is a three-part series. So this is part one. So after you watch this video and you have any type of questions, make sure that you drop them below. That way we can answer your questions for part two, part three. But let's get right into it. Rayshawn, I'm super excited to have you on this live. We were supposed to do this like a minute ago, but everything happens when it's supposed
Mm-hmm.
to happen. So I'm super excited about this. Let them know more about you, where you're at, and how did you get started with the Head Spa Studios?
Yes, yes. Thank you for that introduction, Kenyatta. I really appreciate that. So, yeah, my name is Rayshone Phillips, like she said before, and I am the scalp care specialist. I love everything about scalp care. I think I entitled this the video is how did I get into head spa, because I wanted to talk about my journey. Like I didn't just wake up one day like, oh, I have a great idea. Although it was a great idea, it was more like a the universe kind of set these things in front of me, and I either picked it up or I left it there, and I decided to pick it up, and now I'm here today, and I'm so grateful that I actually made that decision, because it has changed the dynamic of everything that I do for my business. It really has. It's given me a new love for doing hair, and I'm in education, but I still love doing my head spas on my clients because it provides such an experience. So speaking of my journey, when I started the head spa, I learned about the head spa in 2020. And back then, I was like, what is this service? My sister-in-law sent me a video that had some head spas like servicing in it. And I said, oh my God, this is so nice. I would love to provide this for my clients. And so me and Queenie, we flew all the way out to LA. We went to go visit Blow Me Away head Spa out there, but it was closed because
During
it was
pandemic.
pandemic time.
Okay.
Yeah, it was pandemic time. Hold on, my baby. Is the baby? Is he okay, Queenie? It's just okay. Just making sure he's okay. That's all. I'm online. I'm on live, so I gotta go. All right. So anyway, girl, I
Okay.
gotta check on the baby. He fell over. So
Oh
yeah.
wow.
He always pulling something down on himself. Like he loved to. He's
Oh,
at that stage now. But
okay.
anyway, so we flew out there. It was closed. We couldn't really go see it. But I was like, this is still something that I really, really want to do. And so I started doing my research. And what I found was that this had a lot of science in it. Like it wasn't just do the head spa. It just wasn't it was microscope analysis. And I'm like, oh wow. We as cosmetologists using microscopes, like this is profound. What I found was that a lot of the head spa people, they didn't really know what they was looking at under the scalp. And so I was like, well, I want to know. I want to know. So I
Right.
started doing my own research. And with that research, I was like, oh my goodness, now I know that there's real science behind this. And then taking it a step further into essential oils, into scalp massage, like this is not just a service that is a trending service. This is a timestamp. This is a foundational service of the beauty industry. And I really wanted to be a part of to help other people learn it, because there was so much that I learned on my own. I wanted to be sure that I was bringing people in. Like, y'all don't got it. I can help you learn what you need to learn so you don't have to filter through all of the research articles. There's a lot when it comes to scalp health. To believe it or not, there's a lot when it comes to essential oils. I mean, so much. And so I really wanted to be on that journey, and so I did. Like I said, I picked it up. The head spa, the Japanese head spa came around. I picked it up, and then I started learning a little bit more about what it takes to offer that service. I began offering and providing that
Mhm.
service for my clients. And when it blew up for me, I knew it was something that I can do for others. Like I was like, oh
So
yeah. So let me think.
let's let's talk about that. Like just letting them know, like what is a scalp, what is the head spa experience? Because just like you saw it online, and I see like a lot of people that it's starting to be a big thing, and a lot of
Hmm.
people are getting misinformation and like, oh,
Oh
it's just a
yeah.
massage. I can just put oil on my scalp and it's just a massage. So break that down too. Like, why? What is a head spa? Because you know some of
So
these.
that
Because a lot of my, I'm sorry, I know it's like lagging,
no
but
go
a
ahead.
lot of people don't even know. They're like, what the hell is y'all talking about? So break that
Hmm.
down. Like, what is a head spa?
So the head spa service is an actual, it's a scalp care service. So it is a service that entails everything that doesn't only work on your hair that we normally do, it actually tends to the scalp and the foundation of your hair health. So you're going to get a microscope analysis. And during that microscope analysis, the cosmetologist takes the time to actually look at your scalp underneath a microscope. So the microscope goes on your scalp and you're able to see your follicles. You're able to see the strands of hair. You can see your split ends. It's so interesting to see what a split end looks like underneath the microscope. And you're able to see some of the things that like your scalp is actually going through. If you're using products that aren't good for your hair, you're actually able to see that under the microscope and what that product is, how it's clogging your follicles, how it's clogging your scalp. Like you really want to be able to see that. And that right there was like the foundational thing of what it took for us to understand how to help a client treat those underlying symptoms. Because as cosmetologists, we're not diagnosing clients. We're not curing their scalp disorders, their alopecias, or their dandruffs. We're not curing it. What we're doing is helping them with the underlying symptoms. And so, after that microscope analysis, after you understand what you're looking at, and I think it's important, like for cosmetologists to be able to say, this looks like seborrheic dermatitis. You should go to a dermatologist to get it checked out, but I'll help you with the underlying symptoms. That is a conversation that I would love to hear in more salons across the country, because now they're like, I don't know what to do with that. And we need to understand what to do with that. We do need to understand that. So after the microscope, you're able to take that information and use essential oils that will help combat some of the underlying symptoms that your clients may be experiencing, some of the inflammation that they're having in their scalp pores, the flaking, the itching, all those different things. Essential oils are really, really good for. And Kenyatta, you already know that because you have Nora's oil that really, really uses essential oils to help with those particular ailments. And that is like groundbreaking, that we are really, the problem that I'm finding is that essential oils don't have much research. And when I tell you there is misinformation online, y'all, there is misinformation online because essential oils, even in the scientific world, have not been researched enough, because we would rather use medicines than to use the things that are natural from the earth for so long. And it that needs to change. That really needs to change, because a lot of the
And you know
medications
why?
that are
That's why I'm glad that we are doing this, because you
mm-hmm,
just don't, a lot of people don't know what they don't know. And they think like, just go to Google, but it's so much deeper than Google.
mm-hmm,
And so that's why I'm so happy that we're doing this live. I'm so happy for what you are doing in the industry, because we need more of these conversations, to inform our
mm-hmm.
clients, because they're being misguided. Like, oh, from
Right.
like influencers, celebrities, and they're not doing the things that you are doing. They're not doing the things that I'm doing to do the research, to, like really help their hair and help their scalp. So I'm glad that we are really lagging on Am I really like lagging?
It was for a second, but it's better now.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, girl. Oh my God. Okay. So and so
That's okay. Technology. That's all
girl,
I got to say.
oh my God. So when you were breaking it down, like the steps on what is a head spa, like I took the course too, y'all. So I took the head spa course, and And when I tell you the first time that I looked under that microscope and I was like, oh my God, wait a minute. Like I was playing with it on my hands. Like I was so fascinated because you do see, like you get to, like when I show my clients their scalp, especially before we shampoo it, detox or anything, they're like, oh my God, that's my scalp. I'm like, yeah. So
Hmm.
this is like, it's just so fascinating. So I love looking under that microscope.
Yes, yes. And I mean, I know we don't, nobody wants to talk about the benefit when it comes to the actual stylist, but there's revenue generation behind there. We don't do it. I don't care what stylist you is. I know you love to do hair, but really you do it for the money. Stop playing. Stop playing. You do it because you get paid for it. And if you didn't get paid for it, even if you loved it for a while, it get old real fast. I'm just
Right.
saying it get old real fast because you really like this is a profession. We are professionals. Dermatologists ain't doing it because they love skin so much. They're not doing it for free. We should not either. And so understanding that microscope is a big part of it can be an influx of revenue for you as well because your knowledge is what clients are really coming to you for. They're coming to you because you are educated and they believe that they're going to get some type of resolution of their issues, and you really can provide some benefits for that because after you do the microscope, like I said, you use the essential oils. The essential oils have truly like very important features to them. I'm telling you, these essential oils were put on this earth specifically for us to utilize to treat. And the thing about it is essential oil, there's nothing new. Essential oils aren't new. They're just not researched. They're
Right.
just not pushed out to the front. We actually eat essential oils all the time. We eat
Mm,
peppermint, we eat oranges, we eat rosemary and thyme in our in our spaghettis and our sauces. Like literally, we know the benefits of them, but we've never really translated and done the research on how it benefits scalp health specifically. And so that's why it's so important for us to take this different role because skin health and scalp health they're similar, but they're not the same. Certain things that you're going to use on
yeah.
your face you wouldn't use on your scalp. Like I was just recently doing, I'm actually getting ready to create a blog on ginger because we would think that ginger would be great for our scalp because it's very good, has some very good healing properties when it comes to the inside of our bodies. But what happens is ginger actually is can be stop the hair from growing. It can inhibit hair growth. It's not always that these essential oils have the benefit that you think they may have. So doing the research is really important. And when you go on Google, when I tell you, when you go on Google and you type in ginger and benefits for hair health, you'll see all types of different hair stuff. You'll see ginger for this reasons that ginger is good, this reason ginger is good, this reason is ginger
Right.
is bad. But what you need to do is look at scholarly articles. You need to look at articles that have done research where either they've researched it on mice or they've researched it on humans, however it is, but you need to really have some science behind it. Because if you take a blog and just read it, that is just somebody's knowledge. They could have made that up, like literally they can make it up and write a blog. It's not illegal. So really be careful and mindful of the information that you're getting. And that's why I want, like, my ultimate goal outside of doing the head spa and teaching the head spa class is literally to create a hub, a space for us to understand and really have valuable information all in one space. I want it to be organized. I want it to be easily digestible. And so that is what my goal is, to create this hub of information. And when it comes to essential oils, when it comes to scalp care, scalp massage, the different types of things that we can do, so that you have one place to come and get one resource to come and get all of that information, so that you can get real researched information. So the book that I'm
And
reading
you're
right
doing
now, I
it.
really want to go see the author of it. I'm trying to find him. I'm gonna email him for real.
Right. So you're doing that, which is really good. And it's gonna happen. And so let's like get into two for like people that the difference, because I know me and you talk about this all the time. And we still have
Hmm.
like some of those old school clients, or
Hmm.
yeah, old school clients that love to do grease. And when you say
Hmm.
like, no, let's do a essential oil before you do a grease, break that down for them why they shouldn't be using grease.
Well, grease is it actually coats the hair and prevents moisture from entering the hair. You know how oil and water don't mix? It doesn't have any absorptive properties, and that is the problem. Grease is it's a very thick lubricant, and so when it coats the hair, when you put water on your hair, now water is more important. So if you put water on your hair and you have grease on your hair, that water is just beating off. You're not getting any moisture, you're not getting any water to your hair, and your hair needs water. That's why it's such a struggle when you come to a stylist that actually cares about your scalp and your hair health, and they know that you've been using grease. That's why they wash you 3 or 4 times, because they're trying to get that buildup off so that they can get yes, it's hell getting that grease off the hair. So you're trying to get
Girl.
water, yes, you're trying to get that real powerful nutrient to the hair. And it's important the type of water that you're using. I just did a video talking about why so many women are losing their hair, and it's really because of the water that we're using. We're not using filtered water, and
So you
they're just
mean like if they like we need if you're shampooing your hair in the shower, then we need to start like making sure that that shower is a filtered water,
as
has
well.
like it's
Yes,
a
ma'am.
filtered shower head.
Yeah,
Can you
as well.
explain that a
So
little bit more on why?
yeah, for sure. Because so what happens is you've seen the grime that gets on the shower, right? So that grime, that's fluoride and chloride. Those things are both necessary in order for them to try to clarify the water and make it good for the faucets and things like that. But that fluoride, as you notice, still sticks to everything. Well, it also sticks to your hair. So if you're using the water with the fluorides and the chlorides in them, they are also coating your hair, and that is unhealthy. You want to use a filtered water that is removing that fluoride so it's not coating your hair like it coats everything else. So having
That's
that
good.
filtered, yes, having that filtered shower head, even in the salon, having a filtered head inside of your salon when you're shampooing your clients, that filter right there changes the game for the texture of the hair. It really does.
Okay. And that makes sense. I know we talked about that before and I kind of
Mm-hmm.
forgot about it. Look, I had to take notes. I be taking notes on the side too, because I'm like, oh, I like
Yeah,
that. That was
yeah.
good. But it is so important. Because I know a lot of people do shampoo their hair in the shower, but then
Yeah,
you don't think
yeah.
about that. And so I don't have a filtered shower head neither. And so now it's
Mm-hmm.
like mental note. Let me write it down. Let me go ahead and get a filtered shower. Because a lot of times people don't understand it's it could be little things. Like you can have a whole hair care routine and the products can be working, what you're doing the right thing, but it could be that one little thing of you shampooing your hair with unfiltered water that can be causing your hair to
Mm-hmm.
come out or causing your hair not to grow. So that was a gem
Mm-hmm.
right there. That was a really good gem. And I also
Yeah.
want you to touch on too. You know how sometimes people think like we'll say these things and they're like, oh, well, I'll just make my own thing up. And so they'll be like, let me just go get the peppermint, let me go get the rosemary, let me go get the
Ooh.
anything. And then they just start putting it
Right,
on their hair. And it's like,
right, right.
let's talk about that. Why is that not good for them to do that?
So like that's a great question. I'm so happy that you asked that question, because as I'm doing my recent research, even the essential oil recipes that I was using in the past need to be revamped. Like everything is new. More research comes out all the time. And if you guys know that there's a level of toxicity in essential oils, you have to be careful. You cannot just put the base carrier oil, the base essential oil on your scalp. It is a concentrated extract. It's steam distilled, but it's concentrated. So adding that, you can cause yourself to have skin dermatitis if you
Mm.
use the essential oils. Yeah, you can actually create a dermatitis on your skin because your skin is fighting back. You're using too much. So you have to be careful. You got to be mindful. Essential oil mixing, it can be deceiving because the drops, just so little, you like, all you need is this. That's it. This little bit. I'm gonna put a couple. No, you want to be careful with the essential oils. It can be that way. And
Yeah.
also distinguishing between a fatty oil or a carrier oil as well as essential oil. Fatty oils are different. They're extracted different. And so they're not concentrated like essential oils are. Fatty oils and essential oils are two different oils. So when you think things like tamanu, when you think things like jojoba seed oil, when you think like avocado oil, those are fatty oils, and they are carrier oils that can be used to dilute the essential oil. But when you're talking about peppermint leaf, when you're talking about rosemary, it is that those are concentrated. So be sure that you're mindful between knowing the difference between an essential oil and a fatty oil is really, really important, because you're going to use a lot more of the fatty oil and a lot less of that essential oil. So mixing those can be, it's a science project, literally. You need a little of this, a little of
It
this, a
is.
little of this, a little of this, and then you got to mix those
Yeah.
together, then put a drop. Like it is definitely a thing. And I am going to be sharing I'm creating an ebook, an essential oil recipe ebook that I, of course, is going to share with all of the students that are participating in my class, because I want to revamp my essential. After what I've learned, I really want
Mhm.
to go back, and because there's some mistakes that I've made, just to be honest, just to be clear, I'm not a perfect person. And I know I want to go back and rework some of those recipes so that they're exactly the way that I want them to be, in order to help our clients grow their hair. So I'm super, super excited about this new ebook. If you want the ebook, then you'll need to subscribe to my website and you'll receive it there. The website is
Yeah.
theheadspastudio.com,
We're gonna
but that's where you'll get that.
okay. And then we're gonna at the end, like, make sure that we put your information in there and all of that type of
Okay,
stuff as well.
cool,
Yeah.
cool.
But I
Girl, and
really
that was a shameless plug. You got to get it in
no,
there. You
I
got to
love
get it
it.
in
I love it.
there.
Go look. And so another trend, we got like about 10 more minutes, y'all. But another, and let me know if y'all have questions, drop them in the chat, drop y'all
Please
questions,
do.
because we are
Please
going to
do.
be answering your questions. Like, it's so much information. And the reason that I wanted to make this a 3-part series, because it's when it comes to these essential oils, it's so much information. And so and I'm so glad that we're connected, because the way that you're passionate about it, when it came to my product, I was like, look, it got to have essential oils in it, because I know, the different oils, it really does help if you're using
Hmm.
them. And so let's talk about oils
Hmm.
versus fruit
Okay.
on the
So
scalp.
yeah, so
Like,
when you're using essential oils on the scalp, essential oils have an absorbency rate. They actually dissipate into your skin. Some essential oils can go as deep as your dermis, the dermis layer of your skin. Okay, we get some science here. The part that you can see is the epidermis. The part just below that is the dermis of the skin. And essential oils can actually penetrate to the dermis, and they can cause a full body reaction. Okay, they enter the pulmonary system as well. So all of that, you can have a reaction from that essential oil, because it actually penetrates that deep. Fruit doesn't penetrate through your skin the way that this fruit needs to be eaten. It needs to be digested in order for your body to break it down into the smallest molecules, so that you're able to take the nutrients from it. Now, yes, is fruit an excellent source, especially berries? Berries are amazing for scalp health. They have all kind of antioxidants in them, and they're very, very good for your internal organs. So it's important that you recognize that fruit is good, absolutely, but it's better if you ingest the fruit. Because
right,
literally, if you're just rubbing it on the surface, it's not broken down. Our body, the fruit needs, in order for it to be broken down, you need those chemicals inside of it. Remember, when they extract the essential oil from an orange, they're literally taking the skin and distilling that skin all the way down and taking
mm,
the best parts out of it. It's not just orange juice. They're not just squeezing the orange juice inside of a cup. You see what I mean? So you're going to be getting more pure. You're getting good vitamin E. You're getting the vitamin C, and it's actually small enough. That is the thing that matters the most, is the size of the molecule. Our hair follicles aren't this big hole. They're very, very small. And that, even though there's things that are allowed to transfuse past those areas, we need to be very, very mindful of what it is that we're using, because some things cannot pass that barrier. They can't pass the skin
right.
barrier, and they won't go deep enough. They'll just sit on a surface.
And it's just
And
sitting.
yes, it's
And
just
you
sitting.
just sitting and you just making a fruit bowl on your hair and your scalp. And how you know you're not how you could be allergic to it too, and
Absolutely, absolutely. I learned the hard way that aloe vera
it
has
can
a
cause
very, yeah, aloe vera
like
has
allergic
an allergic
reaction. Yeah.
quality because on myself, I was using aloe vera for my face because again, although I'm a scientist, I still went on Google and I was like, "Oh, somebody said use olive oil on your face every day and you will be great."
You said
So
aloe or
aloe vera,
olive oil.
no aloe vera.
Okay.
And so,
Okay.
yeah, so the aloe. And so I had me an aloe plant. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do this. So I did the aloe, I put it on my skin and I did it the first day, it felt good. And then I'm like, oh, okay, this is working. The next day I got a little bit redder and I'm like, oh, it's just a little red. The next day I did it again and I started getting rosacea in my cheeks. Like my skin, it hurt to touch it. And so not
Wow.
everything is for everybody and you
Yeah.
just really need to be mindful of what you're using for sure. And then
And Rayshon,
there's go ahead.
I was gonna say your butt sensitive too. You
Yes,
are remember
I
them to
am.
what's them Tatashi mushrooms broke you out?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
you
shiitake
can't be doing
mushrooms.
all that
Yeah.
stuff.
I know, right? Oh my God, that was a crazy experience, girl. I look coming on here, I look like freaking Frankenstein. I swear,
Girl,
it was that was crazy. It was scary for a moment. I'm glad that I bounced back. You know what I mean?
right,
I'm grateful to
right,
bounce back, but oh my God,
right.
I was like, oh my God, I'm a monster. I really felt like a monster. I swear, I
But
really did.
I do relate to you when you said that the aloe because that was like one of those trends. Use aloe on
Hmm.
your skin and it's gonna do this and it's gonna do that. And I started using it and I remember like I don't remember like all of it, but I do remember like how my face started like having this like tingly feeling, like a burning sensation. And
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
aloe is good, but for some people you gotta dilute it with something. You just can't
Absolutely.
just
You
take
can't just use aloe.
the aloe, you know?
Yeah. And that's the same thing that I've
Yeah.
been noticing with some of the people who are doing it for the scalp health. It's like you got to be mindful. One of the things is some clients are allergic to latex. The aloe plant, you know, the outside, the green part of the aloe plant
Mhm.
contains latex. It contains some type of latex component.
Oh,
So if you're
wow.
you, yeah, so if you're using that, you can actually have. I'm allergic to latex, and so that is
Wow.
that. Girl, listen. So all of that connecting, it just made sense. But again, if you don't know, you don't know. So really just do your research, take the time to understand and literally check out my blog. I mean, I'm going to be writing blogs. I have plenty of them on there now, but I'm going to start blogging on essential oils because essential oils is such a it's an area that many people have not researched. And I want to
Mhm.
be that scientist that brings real knowledge about essential oils. I want to talk about that, how ginger can actually inhibit hair growth and connect the articles so that other people can fact check. And I want to be a
Right.
part of what provides our industry, the beauty industry, with valuable information that we can take back to our clients and really provide some real solutions.
And I love it. And when you keep saying you want to, you're doing it. You're doing it,
Oh,
honey.
yeah.
So you
Yeah.
are providing resources to help.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. For
we coming
sure.
up on our 30, but I want to get into this because since we're on this first part, we're introducing like what is the hair spa. So
Mhm.
how often should someone do hair spa treatments? How often?
So for the stylist, you should be recommending your client get a head spa at least once every 3 to 4 months. That is the recommended. And some clients want to come monthly. They love the treat, but it is a higher end service. So 3 to 4 months is recommended for those that really want to take care of their scalp as well as their hair. So and they're willing to make that investment. It won't be harmful to get it more frequently, but 3 to 4 months, if you want to add that to their scalp care journeys, to their plans, that is what you should do for your client in order, because the thing about it is when we don't plan, it's you plan to fail. If you're not planning, you're planning to fail. I've heard that term before, and that's the same with scalp
Yeah.
health and your hair health. If you're not planning for your next service, you don't know when your trims are, like you're guessing like maybe. No, it shouldn't be that way. There should be a plan where you have it written out when your next trim is, and when your next color is, and when your next deep condition is, when your next head spa is. So first of all, it gives you a foundation that you're able to financially plan for these things, because the deep conditioner is more expensive, the trims are a little more expensive. You're tacking on, and it's a surprise, like, oh, I got a trim today. Oh, okay. Well, no, if you need to know what that is and when that's coming next, so that you're able to be aware of it.
Yeah.
Yes, trim your hair every 3 to 4 months. Don't trim your hair every 6 to 8 weeks. I don't care. I don't care. Argue. You can have whatever you want to say. Every 6 to 8 weeks, guys, is too frequently. Hair only grows a half an inch a month. A half an inch a month
And
is
see, and that's
is
what I teach my clients.
oh yes, whoa. A half an inch a month is 6 inches in a year. Your hair has the ability to grow at least 6 inches in 1 year if you're not trimming it that frequently. Now, if you have a whole lot of split ends, it can be a different story, because your hair's already split all the way up. But if you got a full head of healthy hair, there's no reason to be trimming your hair every 6 to 8 weeks. You're doing yourself a disservice. You're not growing the hair. It doesn't make sense. But anyway, that again, I'm going over 30 minutes because you said trim and I'm talking about it. Let me stop.
No, you good. So that's what we're going to leave off of, the trimming. And you are absolutely correct. I tell my clients that all the time, and they be so shocked because it's so much misinformation. And but we'll get into that the next part two. But part two, I want y'all to make sure that y'all come back for part two. Part two, we're going to dive into why it's so important for scalp care. What are the benefits of essential oils for scalp care, the head spa treatment? We're going to go more into that, dig a little bit deeper. Like I told y'all, it's so much information. That's why we wanted to do a 3-part series. Again, I am Kenyatta Nicole, your healthy hair care specialist, CEO of Nora's Hair Care Products. I have Rayshone Phillips from the Head Spa University. Let them know where you can be reached at and how they can follow you as well.
Yes, so please follow me on all the socials, Head Spa Studio, the Head Spa Studio on Instagram. Make sure to reach out to me if you have any questions. You can DM me on there. Instagram is going to be the best way, because my TikTok DM and all of those others are kind of confusing. But if you DM me on Instagram, I'll get that message from you, and I would love to hear from you guys. Check out the website if you want to learn more about the scalp care certification course that's coming up here in January. Listen, guys, there's a 10% discount for Black Friday coming up. So be sure that if you're ready to invest and you're ready to learn everything you need to know in order to offer the head spa, be sure to reach out to me, because you want to get that you want to get that discount before the new year begins.
All righty. So y'all stay tuned for part two, and we will see y'all next week. All right. Talk to y'all soon. Love y'all.
Bye.